Hey friends, quick pause because I have to tell you something time sensitive and honestly, I don't want you to miss this. Loombox is a red light therapy panel that I talked about in the red light episode with my friend Aubrey, and I use it at home and I talk about it all the time. It is 50% off today only. That's November 11th, 2025. And I said half off. These babies are expensive, and that is an incredible deal. It's the lowest price of the year, even better than Black Friday. So listen, red light therapy is wonderful. Red light helps your mitochondria do what God designed them to do: make energy, repair tissue, reduce inflammation. Your body is incredibly wise. Sometimes it takes just a little nudge of light. So here's what I notice when I use mine. My skin looks more alive again, not filtered, just awake. My stiff joints don't grip me as hard in the morning, and my energy and my mood, it gives me the ability to exhale when I didn't realize that I was holding my breath. So gifting idea, this is the one that they will actually use. Grab a Balloon Box at 50% off before midnight on the 11th. Click the link in today's notes and you'll be directed straight to buy one that will give you 50% off. That little transparency, that link in the show notes is a partner link, which just means that your purchase helps support the podcast at no extra cost to you. I'm truly grateful. Do you ever wish your day wasn't dictated by your health? Are you tired of being tired all the time, or is pain holding you back from enjoying your time with your family? Would you like to manage your symptoms holistically, but you just don't know where to begin? I am so excited that you're here. This podcast will help you understand how natural remedies work so you can relieve your symptoms and live a fuller life. My name is Penny. I'm an occupational therapist, past pharmaceutical rep, a mom, and a wife with a strong faith, and for 25 years, I battled through debilitating Crohn's disease. I took all the medicine and did all the surgeries that stole so much time with my family, but never truly healed me. I finally realized if I was going to survive this disease, I needed to open my stubborn eyes to alternative solutions. I researched how perfectly our bodies work with plants and a lifestyle that made my health less of a burden to my family and aligned so beautifully with my faith and my medical training. If you're ready to reclaim your life with holistic options that are easy to implement as a busy mom and provide relief that lasts, this is the podcast for you. Hello, Becoming Natural fans. This is episode 58, Inflammation, the surprise hidden load really draining your body. Welcome back to Becoming Natural, my friends. This is Penny, and I wanted to hop on today. And while I usually use a bunch of notes to dive deep into some research, I wanted to speak to a subject that I am getting more and more emails about. And Lord have mercy, this is certainly my life lived and my forte. While I have addressed many pieces of our gut and what I have learned about our body when it is healthy and what happens to it when we aren't healthy, I really just wanted to hit this head on from experience, addressing my influx of questions from amazing listeners like you. And as I actually began helping a family member, showing all the signs that I had when I was young. I've said it 100 times that if I knew then what I know now, I would have treated myself differently. While I am not mad or bitter about any of my crazy, long, and painful route to wellness, I would love to prevent anyone else from taking my path, especially my family member. I know that my experience was one of enormous growth for me, not only in my faith, my marriage, my understanding of the body, but without that 30-year battle, I wouldn't have started Becoming Natural. The Lord has amazing ways of bringing fruit and blessings from struggles, and I am embracing that. But I want to talk today about something that changed the way that I think about health entirely, and not just drink more water, get more sunshine health, but deeply frustrating. Why am I doing all the right things, quote, right, and still not feeling well kind of health? I always want to highlight that I am not anti-medicine. Western medicine has made incredible strides in life-saving measures for humanity, all of it. If I have an acute injury, I want to be at the ER in the care of a doctor, stat. Where I do veer from my earlier belief is that the person with autoimmune disease, the ever-increasing chronic illnesses in our population, the growing number of food intolerances, all the things that are a little bit more subjective and difficult to measure, this is where patients, self-included, are getting lost or even forgotten and left to care for ourselves out of frustration, or in my circumstances, because my amazing doctors, whom I loved dearly and they loved me too, told me they didn't know what else to do for me. So through all the reading and the studying that I have done over the past 18 plus years has opened my eyes to a different way of looking at our bodies, from treating symptoms to actually treating the whole body. And you hear that all the time, and that sounds very cliche, but I really want to spell out exactly what that means when we find the root cause and treat that versus symptoms that ultimately become repeat offenders and repeat symptoms because the root was never fully treated. This has been confirmed over and over again, and I would highly recommend the book by Dr. Stephen Cabral called The Rain Barrel Effect. I'll link it up in the notes for you, but I will tell you that when I first read it, I felt completely validated. It's everything that I have ever talked about and concluded that I've just been piecing together over the years, and he brings it all together into one major thought. Spiritually, emotionally, physically, it's all connected. The rain barrel effect gives a certain language to that is not cliche, and I want to walk you through it like you're sitting with me face to face. So this is where we're going to begin, and I'm going to talk very frankly and honestly, and I just want to say I am not a doctor. You need to make your own decisions. You need to talk to your doctor about your decisions, but I think that I have a life experience that is worth sharing, and my body is the proof. The fact that I am alive is proof that all the crazy rabbit holes that I have ever been down have been worth the dives. Some were more valuable than others, for sure, but as an umbrella, simply opening my mind to how the things that we put on, in, and around our body affect us as much as the food we eat or don't eat. And I am still grasping the reality that our bodies were made so perfectly with the ability to heal not just a few things, but our entire body is capable of managing all those toxins if and only if we put our bodies in an ideal situation, meaning stop with the junk, stop with the artificial foods and flavors, the toxic chemicals everywhere we look. We can't expect our bodies to completely heal itself when it's dealing with so many enemies that it's trying to prioritize for us. We think, quote, normal is sugar that has been increasing in our peanut butter over the years, or eating fast food on the regular, or all these skincare products with horrific fragrances that are so toxic to our body. We are loading our body down with so much that it cannot process it all at once. It is not easy to be normal, whatever normal is. Today, even when you're trying to be healthy, it is so difficult and it is hard, and at times it gets overwhelming. And that is my incredible goal here, is just try to take out the overwhelm and make it easy for people to take baby steps, one step at a time. There is just so much bad that's in our food and in the products that we use. Good ones included, mind you. We have pesticides, we have chemicals, we have phthalates, we have plastics, we have arsenic in our water, a million different kinds of chemicals. I mean, it's just so much that sometimes you just lock up because we can't figure out where to start first. And that is my goal, is to help everybody understand and to take one step, whichever step you want to take, in the right direction. And then all of those little steps will add up. So in the book, The Rain Barrel Effect, Dr. Cabral explains that your body is like a rain barrel. Every day, drop by drop, things fill it. Stress, toxins in your food, mold exposure, heavy metals, plastics, perfumes, and cleaning chemicals, emotional trauma, poor sleep, antibiotics or meds that damage the gut, our childhood environment, and family health history. None of these things alone necessarily break us, but the barrel just keeps filling until one day the barrel overflows. And the overflow shows up as autoimmune disease, allergies, IBS, or in my case, Crohn's disease, hormone imbalances, anxiety or panic attacks, skin issues, chronic fatigue, migraines. And then doctors will treat that overflow, because those are the symptoms, instead of helping empty the barrel. But healing begins when we address what's actually filling that barrel. I love this analogy, and I think it makes it so easy to articulate how we can take all the things that are on in and around our body and how those things add up to where it pushes us over the edge. And I love that he points out that not one of those things is going to break us, but it's the accumulation of a lot of little things. And the beautiful thing about all of it is that our body wants to heal. It was created to heal. God built healing into our cells. That is why we don't have to tell it to heal a wound. We don't have to tell it to heal when we have a virus. The Creator designed repair into our very DNA. Jeremiah 30:17 says, "For I will restore health to you and heal your wounds, declares the Lord." Not might. He will heal our bodies. But sometimes We have to open that drain and let all the junk out. So what's filling your barrel? Everybody has different things. We all have hangups. Mine was a Coke. I'm doing really good on that front, by the way. But this is where we get really practical really quick. So the first and foremost, it's harder to control environmental toxins. Dr. Cabral explains that we're exposed to 100 times more chemicals than our great-grandparents were. They had fresh butter. We have butter-flavored chemical spreads. They washed with tallow. We wash with fragrance, which is code for over 3,000 possible chemicals or more. You're not weak. You're overloaded, and your body cannot manage all of it at the same time. Number 2, your gut or immune stress. 70 to 80% of the immune system lives in our gut. We now know that. Any imbalance like candida, leaky gut, mold, antibiotic history, hello, that's all me, keeps your immune system stuck on, meaning it's in the on position, so it's in overdrive. That alone can overflow your barrel. And this we're going to circle back around to in a minute, because I want to address that a little bit more, because that's what I say was my forte. Number 3, emotional stress. This part hit me because sometimes the overflow is actually heartbreak, not food coloring dye number 32. The nervous system remembers, your brain remembers. But the Lord restores even that emotional trauma, even the stress that you have. We have to control that as well. But Psalm 147:3 says that he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Healing is not just a physical healing that you can see with your eyes. It is a whole person restoration. I learned that myself when I did EMDR. I think that was episode 3. So you might be asking, how do we empty that barrel? This is where Dr. Cabral's approach shines, and I very much agree with, is it has to be gentle, it has to be steady and slow and not overwhelming detoxification. We're not starving yourself, we're not punishing your body, we're not earning healing through suffering, but we're supporting our liver, we're supporting our lymphatic system, our gut, our lungs, our skin, and our kidneys. The detox pathways that God already placed inside of us. We were created to detox. That's what our liver's for. That's what our lymphatic system is for. We are just overloading it. It has never had to process so many chemicals in history, and we're adding more and more every day. So number 1, you want to remove the source of that overflow. This is different for every person because we all have our own hangups or different environments, but you need to reduce your artificial fragrances, and you've got to think about that. We've talked about perfumes, we've talked about soap, we've talked about detergents. Anything that has a fragrance in it, stop it. We need to go to no smells. Replace processed oils with real fats. 100% real means your body knows how to recognize it and it knows how to process it. Swap your plastic containers for glass containers. I'm in the process of doing that myself. It feels amazing. Drink filtered water. It doesn't have to be crazy expensive. Start with a little bit, but just be intentional about what water you drink. And if you want to know what's in your water, go to ewg.org and type in your zip code, and you're in for a surprise there if you've never done that. Reduce your inflammatory foods for a season. And we've talked about inflammatory foods. I can't remember exactly what episode it was, but there are certainly foods that cause more inflammation in your body, as well as the episode either right before or after that, there are foods that actually remove inflammation from your body. So you need to focus on adding more anti-inflammatory foods and reducing your inflammatory foods. Identify mold exposure if symptoms point in that direction. Old houses, if you live in, a coastal city, if you live in maybe a house that's had a water backup or flood or a leaky window. This is not perfection. It's subtraction of all the little bitty things that potentially harm you. We're trying to reduce that rain barrel because individually, like I said before, not one of these breaks the bank. But when you just pile on and pile on, the body can't keep up, and then the rain barrel overflows. So we also want to strengthen that drain. How do we get it all out? So think gentle drainage. And we've already talked about quite a few here on Becoming Natural. Castor oil packs, Epsom salt baths, making sure, of course, that your castor oil is organic, your Epsom salt is quality. Dry brushing, herbal teas that support your liver, like dandelion and milk thistle. Deep breathing, it moves your lymphatic system. It moves that lymph out of your body that has all the toxins. Increase your sunlight exposure if you're not getting out in the sun. Sun is healing. Sun actually transforms chemicals, body chemicals, natural chemicals in our body into nutrients that we need. Take slow morning walks. Walk barefoot on the ground. The body responds when there's kindness shown to it, and we don't think about it. We are, self-included, moving, going fast, fast, fast. We never stop until our head hits the pillow at night. You have to carve out time and peace throughout every single day. Once the load is lighter, then we start rebuilding. We add the minerals that we're deficient in. We add probiotics. We add better protein that's clean and no hormones and antibiotics and grass-fed. We add whole food in variety. We maintain our nervous system regulation. We meditate or read scripture or pray or listen to peaceful music, whatever soothes your soul. Have safe relationships and healthy boundaries. If those are stressful relationships that you have, you need to make sure that you take care of you and your relationships and the stress or anxiety that comes from them. Healing is not a product. It is actually a process of coming home to your body and what it was meant to be. My story actually began with emergency surgery when I was 24 because my stomach was completely blocked by inflammation. I couldn't even drink water without vomiting. So there was absolutely nowhere for my food to go but up. So my surgeon, whom I adored, gave me a second exit to my stomach in an effort to relieve the pressure on my God-made, inflamed, and blocked natural exit. It was a brutal surgery, a brutal recovery, but once I was healed, an amazing relief until it happened again 18 months later. And worse, the man-made hole did not have a flap on it like your stomach does. So that acid was not made to be in my stomach. So it just perpetually over time tore down my stomach and caused many, many, many ulcers. Were refluxing from my intestines into my stomach for years via that unprotected hole, and then surgery after surgery to treat those symptoms. And the inflammation ultimately ended up with the removal of 80 to 90% of my stomach due to all the ulcerations. And then those ulcers perforated and were bleeding all over my stomach, caused by the acid slowly eating the lining of my stomach. It was brutal. It's gross to even talk about, makes my stomach hurt, but very risky surgeries followed that crescendoed into my getting severely septic when our last choice was to remove the damaged portion of my stomach. That very first surgery led to the next and the next and the next. However, had we known how to treat that inflammation before that first surgery, I could have avoided all of it. I am 100% convinced. There are now studies that show that the overuse of antibiotics, specifically the cyclines, lead to Crohn's and specifically strip the lining of your stomach, weakening your stomach lining. And I've said before that my dermatologist, when I was in high school, wrote for tetracycline and doxycycline as a treatment for skincare, preventative treatment. And so maybe I took it for 6 months, 12 months. I really have no idea how long I took it, but I certainly didn't take it beyond high school. And I took those antibiotics because we thought they were safe. My dermatologist never would have given me anything to hurt me, especially as preventative care. And as it turns out, it caused a lifetime of illness and pain. So what could I have done? Probiotics to start with. I had never heard of a probiotic before. My gut biome was completely wiped out by the antibiotics. There was no good gut bacteria that remained, and the bad bacteria was fed by stress, by carbs. The over-the-counter medicines that I took to soothe the burning was loaded not only with sugar, but with fake sugars that our bodies don't even recognize, and causing my disease to worsen. Strict diet changes for a few months could have helped me significantly, and I firmly believe could have prevented that initial surgery had we known better. But we didn't, but we do now. So as I have preached before and supported by science, our gut-brain connection is huge. Our stress and emotions directly affect our guts. When our gut biome is imbalanced, those bad bacteria push out the good bacteria and create leaky gut, allowing cracks between our stomach cells to allow toxins our stomach knows how to handle to permeate the gut and get into our blood supply. But once those toxins hit the blood supply, those toxins become electric and really toxic. They roam through every organ in our body through the blood supply, causing symptom after symptom after symptom, symptoms that we visit the doctor for and get meds for to temporarily relieve our issues until they return. But if we repaired the gut biome by filling the body with good vitamins and minerals and probiotics to bring those leaky junctions back together, which that can happen, that will happen. When we put our body in an ideal situation, we will decrease the toxic load in our blood, decreasing the symptoms, and continue to focus on creating a good gut microbiome. It doesn't happen overnight, y'all. It isn't an instant fix, but we didn't get into that pickle in a day or even a month or a year. My symptoms started when I was 16, and I didn't have that emergency surgery till I was 24. It's a long time of little by little by little harming my body. And I wasn't even continuing to take that medicine. That's the scary part. So when we become aware of all the things we're fighting to protect our body and start with one thing at a time to reduce the inflammation, the leaking stomach cells, while also recognizing that food is not the only source of distraction. Body products, toxic chemicals, negative emotions and stress, and realize that sun and fresh air and connection to nature not only feels good, but it is objectively healing our body. That is when we will see improvements in our health. Remove the bad things, add more good things. Easy as that, right? So easy. Kidding. So the desperate emails that I'm receiving are exactly the questions I had before I knew all of this. How do you get rid of the inflammation? How do you help the gut microbiome? My family member is in terrible pain, which breaks my heart. When they went to the doctor, nothing was wrong. They don't measure your yeast or your bacteria in the gut as in a basic health check, or if at all. So while good doctors are starting to see the whole body versus just measuring symptoms and writing a pill for acid reflux, there aren't enough. The medical model that I was trained in goes against every bit of this. Doctors will have to go against everything that they've been taught. They have to understand nutrition with a way more depth than they are taught in medical school, which is close to nothing. It is really hard to go against the flow, against what is not only not accepted, but going against hospital protocols put in place for doctors to follow based on reimbursement plans. The entire system needs an overhaul, and we're on our way. We're making baby steps, and our eyes are all being opened. But if this stubborn girl can see the light, many more will continue to come to the bright side of healing. Not maintaining your health, not managing your illness, but truly healing. We were made from ashes, and we will return to ashes. We were given plants that worked for thousands of years before the last 50 years of increased use of pills. Like the last 50 years have made a difference. We're sicker than we've ever been. So why won't those plants work now? I even thought I was too far gone to use homeopathic remedies. I was too sick. I was stumping the biggest names in gastroenterology. I needed more than just a plant. Until 3 of the most empathetic GI doctors in Houston, the medical mecca, told me that they had no idea what to do next. I had obediently done everything they offered, all the surgeries, all the meds, all the changes. I was miserable, and I remained miserable until I was so incredibly desperate in a way that I actually thought I might die this way. I even dreamed of dying just to get relief from the chronic, completely debilitating pain I had day in and day out. I dreamed of a heavenly, whole body. I was at the bottom of the barrel, literally. Then, for 2 years, I had more surgeries to remove my stomach, then more to repair the nicks and the holes that came from that surgery that made me septic. Praise the Lord, a surgery to remove an ostomy that was placed during one of those surgeries, another surgery to remove a surgical fistula, and still more surgeries. Every surgery you have is dangerous. Potential sepsis, and potentially you don't survive sepsis. Every anesthetic, every pain med, every organ removal changed me. While I am classified as inactive related to my Crohn's disease, I am down 18 inches of small intestine, 85% of my stomach, all very important pieces of my digestive system that were responsible for absorbing vitamins and minerals that I need. I don't have the musculature in my stomach to actually vomit. I know that's gross, but that's a protective reaction that we have that I don't have anymore. Do you see how that first surgery led to a lifetime of surgeries? After my final surgery to zip me up tight from the hernia caused by 7 back-to-back surgeries when I was septic, I promised myself I would never go back. I would do everything I could to be healthy. I would never take my health for granted again. And I knew after all the miracles that we witnessed in my truly miraculous healing from sepsis that I had to share my story. I wasn't sure how. I had no idea it would be in a podcast, but how arrogant I used to be about medicine over plants. I was trained in the medical model, I sold pharmaceuticals, and I took more drugs and had more surgeries than I can list. If anyone is a poster child for doing a 180-degree turn, it's me. So I am here for it. I'm an open book. I have no pride to be lost, no story I won't tell, no miracle I won't share. I have stared down death, and it did not win. God won, and my entire experience made me fearless and desperate to help even one person not go down my path. Modern medicine will tell you that I'm wrong. It'll tell you that you must take the drugs. It will tell you that I'm a fluke and that no one is healed from Crohn's. But what if? What if you can be? What if the medical model needs some tweaking? What if you check out your rain barrel? Slowly but surely, remove those toxins, replace your good bacteria, heal your gut, get out in the sun, breathe the air, spend time in prayer, let go of negative emotions, and even energy-sucking relationships. We all know they're out there. What if you found that kind of peace that passes all understanding? It certainly can't hurt you to try. It's not always easy, but the 25 years of procedures, transfusions, medicines, hospital stays, surgeries, missed events, trauma, pain, fear, being a sick mom, that wasn't easy either. And that was the accepted way to manage my illness. I'm not afraid to say it. Absolutely nothing about my degree of illness was managed, maintained, or even helped by the drugs or the surgeries. It all came back, or it all made me worse. I was dying a slow death until I ever so slowly became a believer in another way of treating my body. So if you feel overwhelmed, friend, hear me now. Your barrel didn't overflow in one day, and it won't empty in one day. But every gentle choice begins the draining. Choose peace over proving yourself. Choose real food that your great-grandmother would recognize. Choose stepping outside and feeling the sunlight on your skin and embracing the outdoors. Choose to rest when your body says it needs to rest. Healing is slow, but healing, true healing, is thorough, and it takes time. You're not behind. You're not broken. God is in your story too. I firmly believe it. So if today's episode stirred something in you, maybe that deep knowing that things could actually be different, hold on to that. You're flourishing, and your life honors the one who forms you. Take one step this week to open that drain. Just one. Don't be overwhelmed. Just pick one thing to open your drain and to decrease those levels in your rain barrel. Your body will actually notice. I'll be right here with you through every step that you take working towards good health. It's a leap of faith in more ways than one. I know that you can do it. You've got this, and I want to help you do it. So until next time, my friend, keep becoming exactly who you were made to be. Have a great one. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you've enjoyed today's episode, hit that follow button, leave a 5-star review if you're so willing, and help spread the message of Becoming Natural by sharing it with a friend. Check out the resources in the show notes and join the email list to stay on top of all the latest and greatest happenings at Becoming Natural as we roll out exciting new things while we grow. Until next time, take those baby steps to a more natural life and always give yourself grace. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. See you next week.